really need to be alone with you, just me and you. Walk me to the door, baby, come inside. Take your coat off, make me feel alive, alone with you, just me and you. My pearl shining bright, oh, for you, just for you. We're getting kind of sweaty, breathing hot and heavy. Yeah, I love you too. Just tell me what to do, oh, for you, just for you. Playing in my hair, grabbing on the sheets. Let me take you there. The night is through for me and you. But to my surprise, you lay me on my back. You're coming on tight, and just like that, the night is through for me and you.
You're listening to The Final Note, live with Alex Vincent.
Concerns will be addressed, don't stress now, be peaceful. Let's take ourselves a moment to decide where this should lead to. When it makes them stand beside themselves and make them want to be you. Let's go all the fuck down, shit, so that I fucking say we need you to break through.
All right, how's everybody doing tonight? We are live. It's The Final Note, Wednesday night, March 6th, 8 p.m.
It's been a wonderful week.
It's been a good week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we had a fun time last week. I didn't even think about it. We were talking about all the things we're going to talk about. I didn't even think about the ridiculousness on set of South of Central.
Oh yeah.
That was your acting debut.
It was my debut. I'm ready for my Oscar.
Guys, it's Alex Vincent. I'm hanging out with Mikey Wells tonight. Joe Davison is not here this week.
He's off. I'm pretty sure shopping our show around. He's trying to get us going there.
I think he's sick as a dog from a real long day of shooting last week. I got the Instagram rolling too to start the show. Whoever's my friend on Instagram can go. My follower on Instagram can go check us out. We're just hanging in the studio. And so hello to you guys and everybody who's listening through the website and through Nerdorama. And thank those guys for putting us on through their site for another week. So today we got a bunch of things we're going to talk about. But this is our 7th episode and my 7th horror guest that I'm having on. And it's a very special one. It is my original film mother from Child's Play 1, Catherine Hicks, who is going to be on the air with us in about 40 minutes or so. Very happy to have her on. Fans seemed incredibly excited. I tweeted about it, and the first tweet got like 300 likes, which for me is a shitload, like more than anything.
So many likes, man.
Yeah, people were excited, and I'm excited. I don't get to talk to her all that often. We text each other sometimes, but yeah, I'm very excited to chat with her. It should be cool.
Get to talk to your fictional mother.
Yeah, and a bunch of people wrote some messages. Luckily, her and I have maintained a good friendship for many years. 30 years, 31 years, going on 32 years since we started filming that in 1987 in Chicago.
That's fantastic, man.
Yeah, so it'll be nice to chat with her. I saw her maybe last year, 2 years ago at a horror convention. We've done a few. I've gone out to visit her a couple times when I'm in LA. I usually see her. And she's married to Kevin Yeager, which we'll talk about later. He is the creator of the original Chucky design and the first several films, and also Freddy Krueger and the Crypt Keeper. And I mean, he is like a brilliant, incredible puppeteer and designer of these horrifying characters. So Chucky has very much been in her life because she fell in love with him on the set, and they've been together ever since. So I got lots to talk to her about. So I'm always happy when I see them. So you guys hanging out in the room tonight, appreciate you. We kind of scrambled here last minute. I have a fun musical guest who's going to be on, Georgie Mason. She is she's a really good singer. Interesting style of music. It's kind of like an aggressive pop. I'm not sure how to characterize it, but the song that opened up the show tonight was her song called Shag, and I'm going to play another one of her tracks later, and she's going to perform live. We're going to chat with her later on after Catherine.
She had a little bit of R&B going on with it, too. I like it.
In her voice, the music has like an aggressive kind of rock-style pop feel to it, but her voice has some soul to it, too. And she recorded a track with me at my studio, which is where we're, broadcasting live from in Clearwater, AV Productions. If you guys haven't checked out the studio, I'm actually, celebrating my 5-year anniversary, right now. This month would be 5 years since I opened the place up. And that's avproductionsonline.com. I've been very fortunate to work with, maybe over 250 local artists the last 5 years, and she's one of the more recent ones. We just worked together a couple weeks ago. So she gave me her record, and I checked it out, and I dug it, so I was happy to have her on, and she'll be on later today.
That's awesome. Congratulations on 5 years, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it really is not easy to run a business for 5 years. The business side of it is the tough part, and the part that I realize I have a lot to learn, and still, the creative side of running a recording studio, I love. That's what I went to school for. That's what I was passionate about. Running a business is a whole other thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I've done it mostly alone, so I haven't really had much help. So people have been sending in messages for Catherine and any questions. If you guys want to text a question for her, you can do so, 973-354-2447. I would say you could call in, but I think I only have one phone that can do that today. Uh-oh. You could call before or after if you want, but when she's on, you could text any questions you have. But yeah, I look forward to talking to her. And you guys on Instagram that are watching, if you go to www.thefinalnotelive.com, that's where you could hear the rest of the show. And this is Mikey Wells sitting next to me. And so tell me from your perspective what you thought of this week. It was fun. I had a long hair wig on. I was back to my early 20s with long hair and playing a alternate version of myself, drug dealing, degenerate version of myself, which was fun.
I had a blast just being a fly on the wall for everything going on. I thought it was very amusing getting to see the sets.
Yeah, Joe's got a cool spot over there. Joe's got a cool spot. He stole my colors with the red and black, but it's cool.
Yeah. Getting to see the vanity set they made for Alex Vincent was pretty amusing.
Yeah, I mean, they have the ability to put up and tear down and change and modify these sets in their production house there. Yeah. It's really cool. They made a little room for me. I guess this version of me is incredibly vain. I had my initials painted on the wall in big, bold letters. If you go follow The Final Note Live on Instagram, you could see the pictures I posted of not only the set and me with the long hair wig, but also Mikey in a white suit playing, I guess, our drug-induced hallucination.
Yeah, I'm just a dancing drug hallucination in the corner.
We'll see how he edits it. I have some ideas of what he could do to make that look pretty cool.
I was fucking killing it with the dance moves.
You were. You were. You brought it. For your first ever performance, you brought it.
Solid 20 minutes of ridiculous dance moves.
Yeah. Did I post the video? Have we put the video up on there?
I'm not sure if you got that on Instagram yet. I threw one up on mine, but it was just a still. Joe made the little GIF of it. It was pretty.
Yeah, I got a video of it. After I'm done with this Instagram live feed thing, I'll put it up later, so you guys can check it out. But yeah, it was fun. I think you brought it. I think when it was your time to shine, you brought it. That's good.
I like to think so. Yeah. Here I go. That was my start.
But as you saw, this being your first ever experience on a film set, it's a lot of waiting to wait, isn't it?
It was a lot of waiting, and then towards the end of the night, I think I'd been there for 5 hours or so, the possibility of the scene being cut came to light, and they were like, well, I mean, one of you guys are getting cut, we're not going to be able to do the scene tonight. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that happens. Happens. Sometimes you're there all day.
Yeah, sitting here and then you go home, sweating my ass off.
Yeah. But it was a good time. It was a good time, and the scene was funny. We'll see how what Joe does with it. I'm sure he's going to make it great. He was very funny. The characters that were there were really good. So
I mean, everyone on the set and behind the scenes was very fun as well,
and professional. And things take a while to get all the setups and everything, but they did a good job.
Craft services was amazing.
Yeah,
that was nice.
I'll tell you, I've been on much bigger productions with much shittier options than that, so it wasn't bad.
Oh, that's like such a pessimistic way of looking at it.
Well,
it was my first time. It was great.
No. Yeah, it was greet. And I'm sure it gets better than that too, but sometimes it's much worse.
I've been in places with shittier options.
No. I'm saying I wasn't calling this shitty. I was saying it has potential for shit. It depends who's running the show. But yeah, these independent films are fun, especially when it's fun with fun people that I know and have worked with a lot, and the script is fun, and I get to add my own shit and improvised a lot of it, and that's always fun. Sometimes they're awkward, but
earlier in the night when you were going over some of the lines, and I was like, I kept saying like, just channel your inner Jason Mewes. It'll be great.
That's funny. I just watched Zack and Miri again.
Perfect. That's night. Like so perfect.
And that's the exact version of him. Yeah. Well, I wasn't doing my Jason Mewes. Fuck, dude. Yeah, no, I wasn't doing that. I was thinking about doing a voice, but I always inevitably just play myself. It's much easier when you're just you know?
Just looking to be the next Christopher Walken.
Yeah. I could have gone full-blown character with it. That would have been fun, but...
just opted not to. It's fine. It's cool.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
the world's missing out, though, Alex.
Yeah.
It was amusing. So there was a lot going on there behind the scenes, just talking with some of the other people that were helping build the set and everything going on. Going over some of the props was really funny, like trying to throw in little maybe Easter eggs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like
he's got a really cool spot over there. I think combining that spot with this for the audio would be a pretty unstoppable force. So I think we're going to do some more stuff together. I've worked with him in the past on several things. I did. He has this zombie film called Frostbite, and I did all the audio for that, moving samples and ADR and sound effects and some scoring stuff. And I did scoring for him on a couple other projects. But yeah, it was a cool spot. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. And it was really just in favor to him, in returning the favor of him coming on the show and making you guys laugh for the past 6 episodes or 5 episodes that he was able to come. So
yeah.
Yep.
Joe's a funny guy.
Joe's a funny dude. It was a good time.
Makes me laugh.
So what's going on with all you guys tonight? I do want to come up with more ways to be interactive. I sit here like 5 feet away from, well, it's like 3 feet away from the screen, and I can't read what anyone writes in this room, and I can't read what anyone writes in Instagram. So I have to go back later and read shit. I got to figure out a way to get things closer to me. When we take a break, though, I'll skim through the Instagram stuff to see what questions you guys have for Catherine tonight, so I don't miss any of those.
Everyone's got a question.
Yeah, a lot of people have questions. I thought Kane Hodder was a lot of fun last week on the show, too. If anybody missed that, Kane Hodder was my guest last week, and we had a good chat about his career and about hanging with him at conventions. And
I was just I really wanted to know what he was doing for his tricep exercises.
Yeah, I know. You were right on that. Benching 350, too. That was impressive. That's
good.
That's like unbreakable. Like,
yeah.
Isn't that like what Bruce Willis was doing?
I think, it was 315 or 350. That's more than I can do.
Yeah, that's more than I can even dream of doing, I think.
Yeah,
but I'm going to start with you soon. The squats and stuff are going to happen. It's going to happen.
Brother.
Yeah. It's going to happen. It's March Madness now. I tried to make a bet with Joe about a weight loss competition, and then he got sick. So
he's probably losing more weight than you.
He's probably got an unfair advantage to start. I haven't been as good this week as I wanted to, but I'm working on it.
Just got to go do it, man. Get some cardio in.
Yeah, just got to do it. Yeah.
Just lift them weights.
It sucks. I hate being on a diet. Sometimes when I go to when I'm on a real diet and I go to the supermarket, I just get fucking anxious and depressed and angry.
Yeah,
and I just walk around and look at all the stuff that I want that I can't have. I've gotten like anxiety attacks doing that, where I've just left my cart in the middle of the aisle and just walked out.
Yeah, you gotta go right from
like
there
I just get so frustrated that I'm like, you know what, fuck this, I'm leaving.
Let all your rage out at the gym. Just rage. Much.
I gotta rage it up.
Yeah,
somehow.
It'll work, man. Just Tony, come with me to the gym.
I've been so tired lately too. Something else that I can't really understand. I've just been very, very exhausted. I can't catch up.
Some weird weather shifts in Florida. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
Maybe. And
today
now
it was kind of chilly, but yesterday was nice and warm. I don't know.
Yeah. And now Mercury is in retrograde. That's a lot of fun for a Taurus.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you believe in that shit, but basically it means shit's going to suck a little extra for a month or so.
For a month? Oh, good
A month,
grief.
Sometimes longer. It sucks. I think some signs are affected by it more than others. Maybe people just use it as an excuse to justify their shitty lives. I don't know.
Maybe.
But
I'll give you a hug, dude. Like, we can hug it out. You'll feel better.
Well, maybe. If it gets to it, I'll ask for it.
All right.
I save hugs for,
I give
desperate
such
times.
good hugs, though.
So do I. I get that. That's a compliment I've always heard. So what else? Speaking of hugs, very sad to hear about Luke Perry, which, not only was I a fan of his work, but someone who I consider a sister in Christine was very close with him. Through 90210, I did get to meet him once or twice, I think. Yeah, it's real sad and kind of like shocking. 52, the guy's in good shape. He didn't have a drug problem or anything.
Yeah, it's pretty random.
And you just stroke. It's pretty shitty.
Yeah, I have no idea how that came about with him. I know it happened and everything, but yeah, that dude's pretty iconic. Yeah.
I mean, he was a lot, my age especially, he was a lot of girls my age, their first imaginary boyfriend, celebrity crush.
My little sister had him on her sleeping bag when she was a child. I remember that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember those too. The sleeping bags or pillowcases or something, 90210 pillow.
Yeah.
That's so weird, man. I haven't thought about that in 30 years. But
that's what I thought of
20
earlier.
years.
Yeah. Like, ugh,
yeah. I know. Yeah, they said like Luke on one or no, Dylan. It said on one and like, yeah. But that's very sad. He was a great actor, and he was in my favorite show of all time, Oz, also. Yeah,
I really like that show. I was going to bring that up, actually.
Yeah, he was Reverend Jeremiah Cloutier. And, yeah,
HBO was killing it back in the day.
Of course they were.
Way before Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix is fucking taken over. That movie, like the most anticipated movie that I could remember for me, The Irishman, that's coming out, which is Martin Scorsese's film with Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci, who hasn't been in anything in a long time. Joe Pesci, De Niro, and Al Pacino, and a bunch of other good actors. The Irishman, and it's going to be on Netflix.
Yeah, straight to Netflix.
So no one can ever diminish or insult straight to Netflix ever again after this. Like,
I mean, I don't know why they were to begin with. They've made very good movies.
Yeah,
I watched a lot of them.
The straight to DVD thing always gets such a bad rap too. I mean, I experienced it a lot in the last 2 Chucky movies, where people have this assumption that straight to DVD means that it's going to be shit.
Well, speaking back with HBO as well, they were making a lot of original programming back in the 90s, and I want to say, for the life of me, I can't remember the title of the movie right now, but Luke Perry was in one of those starring. It was really good. I can't remember the title, though.
Yeah. Yeah, HBO has always, it's not even TV, it's HBO. They do incredible stuff over there. Some of my favorite things of all time came out of HBO. I want to say
the movie might have been called A Normal Life.
A Normal Life. I'm not sure if I remember that.
Let me check that real quick.
Yeah, you do happen to have a supercomputer in your hands that can answer any question you ever think of. But yeah, HBO was always good. I'm not into Game of Thrones. I don't really have a new show on HBO, but The Sopranos, 6 Feet Under, Sopranos and Oz are 2 of my all-time favorite shows ever. HBO is kind of in the news now with this Leaving Neverland documentary, stirring up shit like crazy. It's just, to me, it's just another one of those things, another opportunity to be divisive and argue with each other, because that's exactly what people are doing over it. And I saw the first part. I didn't see the second part yet. I don't know. Not to get too deep into that, because my point really is that I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. I wasn't there. Are there things that make Michael Jackson look like one of the oddest, strangest, creepiest dudes of all time? Absolutely. I mean, he had a mansion, like a children's, dream on his property, but there are so many reasons why it could be justifiable behavior like that, and there's a lot of reasons why people could want to take advantage of such an odd lifestyle by claiming things to, it's just, there's too much, and these kids had questionable backgrounds with these stories and changing their stories, but yet it did seem compelling, and it's too strange. My one thought about it is that it's kind of not fair that you do this after he's dead and can't defend himself, when he's did defend himself twice over this when he was alive. So to bring it back up after he's dead is kind of strange. But I just don't think anybody knows. So it's kind of weird. But HBO, the point of it is that HBO is a little under fire over it. They've never shied away from decisions. All right, did you find the information?
It was called Normal Life.
Normal Life. That sounds familiar.
I'm not 100% sure it actually
was it not.
It was HBO.
Oh, okay.
Now, currently, I don't know why I thought that, but
yeah. Well, Luke Perry was definitely a fine actor and a very nice guy. In the times that I met him, and every account I ever heard of him was that he was a super nice dude. So yeah, it's a shame. And also another loss: the singer from The Prodigy died.
Yeah.
And I was there's going to be a outdoor music festival thing in Jacksonville. I can't remember the name of it, coming up in like May, and there's a lot of good people, like Tool's going to be there, and a handful of other people that I absolutely wanted to see, and The Prodigy was on that list.
Not going now.
I was thinking about seeing those songs, but yeah, that's another loss. That's 2, like back to back. So there should be a third.
Well, I mean,
I suspect the way things tend to work.
Yeah, that's how it's in 3s, right?
Yeah, usually.
Don't jinx it, man.
Yeah. But anyways,
too much of that going on these days. But I mean, the more stars that are made, the more it's going to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Depressing.
And then I saw a clip. I didn't see the whole thing, but of R. Kelly like freaking out in an interview last night where he was being questioned about this, and he like was trying to defend himself and screaming and hollering and stuff. But am I wrong, or like didn't like millions of people see the videotape of him having sex with this underage girl?
Yeah,
like,
isn't that like just common
isn't
knowledge?
that something anyone can,
Obviously, I never watched the fucking thing, but
from what I hear, I saw a special. There was a couple different specials. There was one recently about it, a multiple part special on one of these. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, and they showed footage of it there. Like that's where the only time I saw it, it was like blurred out footage. But it seems to me that this is a proven known thing that's hard to argue, and yet he was there screaming at the top of his lungs that he never did it. And
yeah, isn't this issue like closer? I mean, it's well over a decade, like almost 2 decades old.
Yeah, it's been going on for a long time.
I don't even know what to say about it. Like it's very bizarre.
Since Chappelle's version of
I want to pee on you.
Yeah, I want to pee on you. Chappelle's show, that was the best. Anyways, yeah, I mean, we can't go too far on that topic, but and I don't really know all that much about it. I just know that he had an issue.
I mean, if you're going to be peeing on people, make sure they're of legal age and consenting.
At the least, you would think, yeah.
Yeah. The goes without saying standard, I believe.
And not after, like, a side of asparagus.
After asparagus.
What are you looking for that?
Brutal.
We're not usually smoking here. I never smoke cigarettes in here, but when I'm on the show, I feel like I got to quit smoking cigarettes.
We're just gonna be
I'm
wild
sure
today,
Catherine
man.
would tell me, as my real mother tells me all the time, and I have plenty of good reason to quit. I think that's part of my getting into shape thing. I think I got to get into a routine of working out.
I agree.
And then I can cut back on the cigarettes. Otherwise, I'm going to throw on 30 pounds probably by cutting them out.
Yeah, that's very common when you quit smoking. People gain.
Yeah, it's the oral fixation. I got to get
Cram
some
those-
candy or something instead. Or
Start eating too much of Kane Hodder's favorite, those PB&J sandwiches.
yeah, I love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Me too, man.
Oh, I would do a Skippy joke if Joe were here.
Yeah.
Damn, I missed that.
The Skippy with some strawberry jam. It's more my thing.
Yeah. So anyways, guys, very excited to have Catherine on tonight. If anyone has any questions for Catherine Hicks that is in the room, you can message them through there. If you're on Instagram, you can send a message, and I'll try to see them before I close this thing down. And otherwise, you can text your message. Actually, if you're in either one of those, you really want to make sure I see it. You can text it to 973-354-2447.
Yeah. We're definitely going to do my best to, become friends with your fictional mother.
Yeah, well, Catherine is a sweetheart. She has always been the sweetest lady. I know she comes off as being incredibly sweet, and it's for good reason, because she is. I sit next to her at a lot of conventions, and she's so endearing with the fans. I know I feel like I say that about everyone that we have on, but maybe that's because everyone we've had on I'm friends with, and I'm friends with them because of how cool they are.
Let's assume, yeah.
But yeah, she is super duper sweet to everybody, and really listens to everybody and takes her time with them. And she's a great person to meet at conventions. Hopefully we do a lot more together, because it's always fun sitting next to her at shows and catching up. Texas Frightmare weekend last year, which is, I gotta say, like my favorite convention I ever did. It's the most successful and the most fun, and met the most people there. And there's always other great guests that I'm excited to meet. And the dude who runs it has been very, very kind. The guy Lloyd, he's a really good dude. And the show is just a blast. But last year especially was the 30th anniversary of Child's Play 1, and we had a reunion with, it was like me, Don, Fiona, Christine, Catherine, Tom Holland, Brad Dourif.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, everybody was there. Kevin
Sarandon?
Kevin Yeager was there. Chris Sarandon wasn't. He was the only one. And I think that's because he was just there the year before, because he also has Fright Night, and he goes for other things too. But seeing everybody that weekend was so much fun, and having dinner, and it really is like a family. This Chucky thing that I've been involved with since I was a kid, and we're really going to get reflective of my childhood years doing this when I'm talking to Catherine here shortly. But and I've been thinking about it all day, obviously, because she's coming on. The family that has been made through this is just truly exceptional and awesome. I mean, first of all, it's insane that I got to come back into these films and bring this character back that was such a part of my childhood, and then I was away from it for so long, so many years, 20 years, and then to come back to this character is just wild. But even 15 years ago when I started doing conventions again, to get back to seeing these people, seeing Catherine and Christine and Don, and then meeting Fiona, who I met when she was a little girl, but I have no memory of it, and seeing Brad often and everything. And Jennifer, like I didn't know Jennifer Tilly. That was after those movies were after me, and then getting to meet her and getting to know her a little bit, and I call her a friend now, and we're all part of this family, and it really is cool. And the mother of this family, as it were, is definitely Catherine. So I definitely I'm thankful that she wanted to come on and chat with us. So we're going to do that soon.
That's awesome.
Anyone else in the room have any questions for Catherine? I guess now's the time to shout it out. You could text it to 973-354-2447. We're going to get into another little topic after we chat with her. Each episode, this is the 7th one. And by the way, next week, I have a really incredible singer who's going to be on, and I'm pretty confident that Serena Vincent is going to be my guest. Serena's a good friend. Her and I used to pretend that we're married because we're both have the last name Vincent. And when I mean pretend we're married, I mean joke around in front of one person at a convention.
Oh, so not making out in public?
No, never that. But yeah, I think she's going to come on next week. She is awesome. She was from Cabin Fever, and she recently got this show on Disney, Stuck in the Middle with You, I think it's called, and she rocks it on that show. She was also Areola from Not Another Teen Movie.
Yeah.
But she's really, really cool. She just had a baby 3 weeks ago, which, she was posting these awesome pregnant pictures for months, and now just had this baby who's super, super cute.
Cute baby.
So, yeah, real cute baby and a brand new mother, and she's going to take the time to call and chat next week. So that should be fun. And that's going to be the 8th episode. I had originally thought of maybe taking a couple weeks off after the 8th episode to kind of regroup and get some other guests ready and
Alex has
music
to focus
guests
on his training.
No, I actually have to focus on a couple records that I'm mixing at the studio because this show, I do enjoy doing it, but it kind of disrupts the middle of my week, and then I'm exhausted the day after and preparing the day before. And,
okay.
But I still, I love doing it. I'm going to continue to do it. I'm just thinking maybe I'll take a week or two off, and maybe I won't. We'll see. Depend on who's available to come on and what it is I want to talk about. But each episode so far we've had, besides the opportunity, sorry, my phone's making noise. Oh, but that's you guys sending in messages, so
well, that's
it's
good.
Cool then. Yeah, it's cool.
Things are working.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I was going to say, besides the awesome music that I've recorded at my studio that I've had an opportunity to play for everybody, which I really love that, and especially because you guys have been enjoying it, so that's even better. But besides that, I've been addressing different topics each week, just different things that are on my mind and things that I have some thoughts on, and I've been kind of wrapping it up with a final thought to justify the title of the show. And so I do have another one this week, which is just, and this word is scary because people want to switch off if I use the word political, but basically it's about political correctness and freedom of speech and how they relate to each other, and with the social media really exacerbating people's opinions on either side. My basic thoughts on it is anyone who takes themselves too seriously in either direction could potentially be to blame. But we're going to get into that chat in a bit after talking to Catherine, excuse me.
Catherine,
yeah.
Catherine, my new.
Oh, you guys
new
are
friend.
all right. Now I'm gonna have to turn the volume off because you guys are sending in a bunch of messages, which is awesome. Thank you guys. She's gonna be on in about 10 minutes or so. We're gonna give her a call. I'm gonna take a break and play another song for you while we get ready to have her on. Let's see. What should I play for you guys this week?
I want to hear a story about Texas Frightmare Fest?
Yeah,
What was
Texas
that?
Frightmare.
Yeah. Tell us a wild story about something happened there last year.
Oh, man. I don't know if there was any wild stories.
Make it up.
Make it up. No, we were having fun. It was a good time. We had a really good panel with all of us. We had a really nice dinner. A bunch of us, Catherine and Kevin hadn't seen Don in a long time, so it was cool to catch up. And Fiona was fun. Brad, Brad's an interesting dude. He is a very introverted person, and he's kind and he's funny. Like when he wants to be funny, even when he's not trying to be funny, he can be really, really funny. But Brad's tough to get a read on, kind of. I never really know what he's thinking. And considering that he is Chucky, maybe it's best that I don't totally understand him.
I think he's an awesome actor.
He's a phenomenal actor.
Probably my favorite thing that he ever did. Sorry, it's not Chucky.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
No, he was in this movie called The Graveyard Shift.
Oh, yeah.
Where he plays this, caretaker of, kind of a maintenance guy in a cemetery.
Yeah.
And a building that's next to it. And he's just so ridiculous. Not in a bad way. The character is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I love the way he portrayed him.
Oh,
He's
that's
probably
cool.
the highlight of that
He's
movie.
a fantastic actor. I mean, unbelievable. And just takes it very, very seriously, which is awesome. I mean, he really appreciates the craft of acting. And I think his daughter is a phenomenal actress also. But yeah, Brad's acting is legendary. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is one of my all-time favorite films.
He got an award for that,
and everybody, he was nominated for an Oscar. And everybody I know who works on the film are also very, very big fans of his acting, including Catherine and Christine and Don, of course. All of us are very, very impressed with him. And he's very funny to be around. I never know what, I can't read him. No, I can't read him much. But as I said, I think that's for the best.
So like the dry wit.
Yeah, and he's very smart, and it does seem like he's always thinking real deep about things, and he's very deliberate with his answers to things. And I've done so many panels with him, and he's really a lot of fun to do panels with. Everybody always asks him to do the laugh, which he barely has ever done. I think only twice.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, to do the Chucky laugh at full volume, which always makes me scooch down a little bit away from him. Yeah, there's a clip, I think, on YouTube of him doing it at a panel that we did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
I hadn't thought of something like that being requested of him, but it makes sense. I mean, since you've got kind of an iconic character with Chucky, who has a pretty sinister laugh.
Oh yeah,
so
sure.
It does make sense.
Yeah, it's one of the trademarks of the character.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just say, can you tell me to go fuck myself as Chucky? That would be fun too. All right, guys, we're gonna take a little break. I'm gonna play a song by one of my favorite local artists and dear friend AJD. I've played a couple songs from him. He performed on episode 1. This is actually like the first. It's an old song. And this is like the first song he ever played in front of me on an acoustic guitar with Mikey Z, my old roommate at the time and dear friend who passed away. But this song is called Can't Put It Down, and this is AJD. I always dug this song.
Well, about 100 people walked right by the stage, and most of them ain't heard a note I played. I've been playing for so long that my hands are dead, but all the people in the crowd are on the bones instead. I just can't put it down. I play my guitar all over town. just can't put it down. It turns me on when it gets loud, yeah, yeah. Well, music makes my whole damn world go round. Some of the people tell me to turn it down. I've been playing for so long that my ears are ringing, ringing. When I got home, you know I couldn't keep from singing, and I just can't put it down. I play my guitar all over town. I just can't put it down. It turns me on when it gets loud, yeah. And if you don't let me play, then you better get out of my way, because I just can't put it down, 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 down. Just can't put it down, 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 down. I just can't put it down, 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 down. Just can't put it down, 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 down. Keep on playing it anyway. Keep on playing it anyway. Keep on playing it anyway. Anyway, anyway. I just can't put it down. I play my guitar all over town. I just can't put it down. It turns me on when it gets loud, yeah. And if you don't let me play, then you better get out of my way, because I just can't put it down, 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 down. Put it down, 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 down. Down, 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 down. Down, 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 down.
Talk to me. Come on, talk. I said talk to me, damn it! All right. Then I'm gonna make you talk. I said talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire!
You stupid bitch! You filthy slut! Did you fuck with me?
Oh, the terror. We are back. Catherine, are you there?
Oh, yes.
You are. Hi.
Hello.
Oh, it's so good to hear from you. It's been a while. I haven't.
My boy.
Yeah, my mom. I haven't seen you in about maybe. Well, I guess since Texas Frightmare, which was a hell of a weekend, wasn't it?
Boy, yeah, that was fun.
That was. It's such a busy show, and so many appreciative fans there, and so many of us got to get back together, and
It was great.
it really was. It was so much fun. I hope we
Yes,
get to
it
do more
was.
like that because, I was just saying before the break, I was saying how this really is a family. I mean, this is 32 years now since the first film, and
Yes.
not only are we close, but there's so many people that met 32 years ago making that film that have had such long, life-changing, long relationships. And
Yes.
when I think of that, I have to think of you most. Not just what this film did, it was good for your career and all that, but I mean, it changed your life. You met the love of your life on this film.
I know.
And I'm not talking about me. Yeah.
When you sent pictures of your little sister who was a baby girl
Yeah.
on set, and
Yeah.
I was just at that time in a lady's 30s because I just focused on my career. I didn't even care about getting married. And then all of a sudden, I'm feeling these, and it is like your family was so warm because,
Yeah.
none of us had family on the set, and your mom was there and your sister. And
Yeah.
of course, you and I were busy getting to know each other so we could act well together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I had maternal urges for your sister, and then I saw the doll maker, and he was really cute. So we were,
He was.
tried to make that happen.
I have a memory, and this isn't even like a memory of a memory where people remind you and then you think it's your actual memory. I have an
Right.
actual memory of you walking around the set singing, "Kevin, I'm in heaven."
I would ask the painters, the set painters, to put my phone number on a 2x4 beam and lower it in front of Kevin. Guys are sick. They don't, he was so focused on making the doll work right. I could have been naked and he would have walked over me, but at least at the wrap party.
You did catch
it
his
worked out.
attention. You did catch his attention for sure.
Yeah.
So, out of my own curiosity of that, was the first kiss while you were still filming, or was it after the fact?
No, it was the end of the wrap party, and everyone was filing out, and I was like, wrap parties, it's like goodbye. You never
This is
see
it.
the
Yeah,
people
that's now or
again.
never.
So
Yeah.
I had purposely gotten Tiffany pens for all the puppeteers, or 9 guys, but I did not get Kevin one because I thought that might get his attention. So he was just sitting there. Yeah, later he told me it did get his attention. And I just went up and said, did we have sort of a thing? First I said, it was great working with you. The doll was great.
Yeah.
Did we have any vibes? And then he said later he thought that was so brave of me that he took me behind, the Chicago Scrim outside our window in the movie that we're supposed to be in Chicago, and he gave me a kiss. Yep.
Wow.
And then we made out for hours, and then I finally said, you got it.
Yeah.
Take my phone number, duh.
Yeah. And then, you had met Ashley, my with my family,
she was
my
so
sister.
cute.
Yeah, she was 3 at the time.
She was like I don't want to say this, she was much cuter than the doll brand. Oh, never mind.
Oh, the Cabbage Patch Kids?
My little sister.
Yes.
My little sister?
Yeah, my little sister. She just was
kid sister?
precious. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's
she
because
has
of
a
the blue
baby
eyes.
who is
Yeah.
adorable.
Yeah, it's the blue eyes. There were a lot of blue eyes on that set.
Yeah.
Between Chucky and her. It's funny to me. I have a whole bunch of things I want to talk to you about that time and about making that movie together. This was the first time that you played a mother in anything, right? Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And I was top billing. It was like a big deal.
Yeah,
it
of
was
course
a
it
big
was.
picture. It was an A picture. We had A producers. You mean A big time? They did Face Off and all sorts of legitimate films. And I didn't know what I was doing. And do you want to tell the first read-through thing? No.
Yeah, well, I do know that. Yeah, before, we've done a lot of panels together at different conventions, and we tell stories that are very familiar to us, but new to maybe some of you that are listening. But we ultimately got a very warm relationship and bonded over a few things. But before that, your initial thoughts of me were not exactly loving.
I was a self-centered actress. I was like, this is my show. I have top billing over Chris Sarandon. I have the scenes. We've done a lot of big scenes in the past. And then we had the read-through, and here's this little boy, and he has a lot of lines. In fact, he's sort of like the lead of the picture. And I was just resentful, and it came out, and all the producers panicked and said, "Oh no, this is not going to work." So they threw us in a room with Brad Dourif, who's an actor's actor, and said, "Get them to, get Catherine going there."
Yeah, we played some acting games and stuff, and man,
And
wish
then we
there
ended
was
up going
footage
to
of that.
McDonald's, and by the time we shot our first scene together, where you wake me up in bed with the cereal,
we were buddies already by then for sure. And
but
that's
it is serious. I mean,
Yeah.
to this day, I can tell when an actress has not had a child in real life.
Yeah.
Because on Seventh Heaven, it was a no-brainer. Once you do that, you are a mother.
Yeah.
But if you don't, I can't describe it. Just slightly self.
Something that
on
doesn't
this
work.
side of self, you can't totally go into the other.
Well, I've said so many times about, and it's never really to brag about my performance or anything, but I've said so many times that the only way that Child's Play has evolved as it did and lasted as long as it did and was as impactful and meaningful and successful, and the only way that it really worked was selling the compassion from the viewer for us, for Karen and Andy. There had to be some real sympathy for these characters.
Yeah.
And another thing that I have to, and I was watching back some of the scenes even today. Horror movies often get this reputation for good reason, for this overacting, hokey, kind of not taking it seriously type of thing. And when we're starting with such an absurd idea of a 2.5-foot doll chasing you around with a knife and voodoo and killing you, it was countered by real serious, genuine acting. Like your approach to it. Yeah, Chris Sarandon, of course. Brad, who we could talk endlessly about what a talented actor he is.
Right. All New York stage actors, myself included.
Yeah, exactly.
And you were virginal, but therein lied the truth and efficacy of your performance.
Well, thank you, but I think you bringing such a serious, first of all, having your own interest in doing a good job in the film, but also knowing that the character really did need that, and people were heartbroken for these two, and us being separated, and the character getting sent to the little institution there temporarily, and you going back home, leading into like what I think is the best scene of the whole franchise when Chucky first comes to life in your hands. It was real serious acting. You took it seriously, and it paid off so well. It's crucial to the success of the film.
You feel, I think, we didn't see a lot of single mothers in those days.
Yeah.
And I, in retrospect, you feel for someone alone on the planet, trying to protect your child.
Yeah. That all these factors led to what made people connect so much with this film that even gave it a chance to be a franchise like it became.
Right.
And some other memories. You mentioned McDonald's. Like, I have a very vivid memory of going down like a steep escalator to a McDonald's that was underground or something, or on the bottom level.
Oh my gosh! And remember, the audience has to know it was the coldest winter in Chicago history
ever.
And it was dead of winter.
Yep.
And we're down by the frozen Chicago River and shooting at night. And it was 30 below.
Yeah.
So, we had to warm up the place.
Our faces were like tearing from the cold and freezing to our face. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I remember staying out really late. I don't know if you did also, but to see the stunt guy fall out of the window as Aunt Maggie. And that happened late at night.
I missed that. Oh my gosh, you got to stay up late.
I did.
That's fun.
Yeah. Oh, I got a lot. I got a lot of privileges that a lot of 6-year-old kids didn't get.
You were so cute.
Well, thank you.
I'm mad that the director. We had this method acting coach.
Yeah.
They used a real life thing to get you to cry, and Kevin, my husband Kevin, it always bothered him because he loves children, and sometimes directors just want to get the take.
Yeah,
but you weren't damaged by it. So
no, I wasn't, and I'm really happy that it worked out the way it did. I think I give myself a little too much credit, but I think I was bright enough to handle it. Because I was also, my memory of that was that it was page 48 on the scene on the script. Like, I dreaded that scene. I had so much anxiety about the acting in that scene that when it came time to it, it was easier to get myself there because I was so full of anxiety already.
Oh, wow,
you know?
great. Well, I'll tell you, any actor, young, old, experienced, whatever, when it says in the script, breaks into tears, it's just horrid. It's just the worst footnote. It's so much pressure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was, but it definitely helped. It definitely helped keep people rooting for Andy.
The older actors need terror tactics to get us over the edge.
Yeah.
Like,
you need Tom Holland yelling at you is what you need.
Yeah.
So, but and another little side note of that too, of our bonding experience there, going down to McDonald's. I've told the story many times, but it's an interesting one, which is someone, I don't know if it was Margaret, who was my acting coach, who just talk about another life-changing thing this project did for you, ended up being your manager for 25 years after the fact.
Right.
You met your manager, your husband, ultimately had a baby just like my sister Ashley. It was like,
but
anyway,
and
that's
she's
what
even
it's wild.
Italian like you guys. My daughter is olive skinned.
Yeah,
because Kevin has Italian, so we kept it in the family.
Yeah, how's Katie doing?
Great.
Yeah,
loving San Francisco.
That's awesome. I love San Francisco too.
Wow.
Yeah, me too. I was so happy that we stayed in touch, and even before we did horror conventions, I guess through Margaret we were able to reconnect when shortly after my brother passed away in 2000, my mom and Ashley and me went out to California for a week. We wanted to get away, and we love it out there, and you were just very gracious, and you had us there, and you had us to the set of Seventh Heaven, which was so much fun. I got to.
Oh, good. I don't even.
Yeah, you had us to the set. Well, yeah, you had us there. Everybody was there except Jessica Biel.
House too,
yeah, and you had us to the house, right, which was so much fun. Well, actually, you had us both times.
A girlfriend, a chapter.
Both times, yeah. The first time with Ashley and my mom, we came to the house, and then I was in town a couple years later with my ex-girlfriend, and you were having a party for Kevin for his birthday. And you invited me then. Mighty Echoes performed.
So we've done it well, and even without the conventions. But these conventions are, oh my gosh! I keep in, the Star Trek people. It's amazing. You see the world. You even see stars you grew up idolizing, like Tony Curtis.
Oh, I know. I'll
like,
tell you.
What are you doing here?
You've had several roles in your life that were really just great things to be a part of and awesome, and that you really knocked it out of the park. I mean, starting with Marilyn, which obviously was a huge role for you, and people always praised your performance in that. And that was 1980, very early in your career, and Child's Play, and the Ray Liotta movie Turbulence, right?
I love that movie.
That was a great
there were lots
movie.
in between. Please God.
There were a ton in
Bill
between.
Murray,
Of course, yeah, a ton.
Yeah, I'm real proud of the directors. I fought hard. I wanted to do movies. They threw television at me left and right, but I would turn down.
Yeah, you always loved film.
I would turn it down left and right because that was not my dream.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, so many awesome projects. And one of the coolest things about that is that you made a horror film which opened you up to all the graciousness of these dedicated horror fans and conventions. And also with Star Trek 4, the sci-fi world of incredibly dedicated fans. If you had just done drama your whole career, you would...
you even look at, yes, it's so true. Those two genres, they just, it just gives you a loving group of people till the day you die,
Yeah,
and
it really
so
does.
It's really neat. You don't know that at the time,
yeah,
but it's certainly a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, for sure. And then you also had such a cool angle on the business, too, through Kevin, who is just freaking brilliant.
Right.
Crypt Keeper, Freddy Krueger. He does the most amazing work. And he's such a sweet guy, too. So
Ohio. Good stock. Yeah.
That's where my girlfriend's from.
Oh, yes. Are you still together?
We are, yeah.
Yay, way to go.
Yeah. Yep, things are good there.
Hashtag true love.
Hashtag something or other.
Who's your partner there?
This is my buddy Mikey Wells. He's
you didn't introduce me.
I'm sorry. We get right into these things. Sometimes I forget.
What is up with
Hi,
that?
Mike.
I forget.
Hello. How are you doing?
Fine. What are you a disc jockey type of guy?
No, he's.
I know I have the voice for it, but no.
He's just he's a exceptionally handsome body piercer.
And your buddies?
And we're buddies, yeah.
We're like best friends. We're gonna go fishing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh
we
gosh,
might go
that's so
fishing
cool.
tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going, so I got to see if I can convince him to get up early enough.
Before you were called,
I
I was talking to him about his fictional mother and how we're going to become best friends.
Yeah, just like that. Friends to the end, or is that like too cliche? That's cheesy.
It's good to have a best friend.
It is, right? So there's so many questions. The fans were asking, have a ton of questions for you. I want to ask you a couple of them.
Let's get through them.
We'll get through a couple real quick.
Yeah.
My question, first of all, this is from me, but what has it been like for Katie with her friends, knowing that she can bring them back to this Kevin's amazing studio, and the fact that these people she meets are know both of her parents and their work? Like, does Katie think it's the coolest thing? Like, for her, does she think it's cool?
It's kids. Katie's, first of all, she's really cool. She's centered. She's a cool chick.
Yeah.
I mean, she's I'm high-strung, wired, Irish, whatever.
Yeah.
She's Italian, sort of low. She can dance well, and she's not impressed with it. She grew up with it. Seventh Heaven was. It took me away from her at 4 years old, which she did not like.
Yeah,
to parent fictional strangers.
Yeah.
Wow, how does her brain wrap around that?
Oh, yeah,
I was
that's
very
true.
aware of it and
I didn't think about that.
tried
Yeah, that's
very
true.
hard to compensate.
Yeah.
And Kevin is an excellent dad, has always loved children, just loves children and is good with them. He was gone a lot making films, but she's okay. So, and then of course she watched horror probably earlier, but not like shoved at it. It was gentle. She saw The Crypt Keeper and The Shining. I don't know. We watch movies all the time. So she's again grew up with it, so she's not blown away. But she's proud of her dad.
Good.
And they're very close.
And you, of course. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 That's great. No,
she actually, there's a quote yesterday because she's in a new startup, a big, really wonderful job. She went to USC. She's a business gal, which is really neat because this business is so precarious. But and she gets a little disappointed, if people discover. She said she has mixed feelings about people knowing she comes from quote unquote fame.
Right.
So I think she just likes to keep it real.
Yeah.
In fact, she's really pretty, and was, everyone said go try it, and she had an agent, and she just thought it was ridiculous sitting on a couch, with some commercial audition with 12 other girls looking at a smartphone. She said it's insanity, pretending we're just jumping up and down.
Well, how do you feel about that? Are you happy that she didn't want to? Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I think she's too smart. I mean, she's too smart for it. She doesn't have the insecurity that needs attention. I desperately had to be famous. I don't know why. I just had to do it.
When did that start for you?
Which is healthier.
How old were you when you started to have those feelings that you had to be a performer and you had to be? Were you very young when you started feeling that way?
No, I never knew about acting. I just, I was a lonely kid, an only child in Scottsdale, Arizona in the 50s. There was no family, just my mom and dad. And I don't know, my dad was a ham. He was funny. And I just was a cheerleader. I loved, that was my outlet.
Right? Yeah. Cheerleading got you going with the performing, gave you the
you'll find a lot of actresses or cheerleaders at first, but I didn't discover theater till after college. I was very heavily educated in English literature and theology at Notre Dame and St. Mary's.
Yeah.
And then I just saw I was missing. I didn't know I was creative, and then I saw the theater building, and I ached for it like it was a temple that I wasn't worthy of entering. And then slowly, but it ultimately made me try harder because I had so much catching up to do after college.
Yeah.
I got a scholarship to Cornell for 2 years to learn how to act, and I got my MFA. But all these great actors that I saw at Notre Dame and at Cornell, and I'm like, why, especially Notre Dame? I don't know why drama majors didn't take it further and
Yeah.
become a professional. They were
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
But because I don't know, I was starved for it, so I had to get real work because I had to, I didn't
Yeah.
have much, I didn't have anything in the bag.
Well, I'm sure everyone who worked with you at that time lived vicariously through your career. You know.
I don't know.
I mean,
I
I'm
just
definitely
know they
sold
were
on the
good, but-
creativity aspect of it, like the elaborate, essentially, like almost like a ruse to get your husband's attention by giving other people gifts and not him. That's pretty clever. Pretty clever. Definitely
Is it clever? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Definitely like a would be an extroverted thing to do.
Yeah.
I like it. Just very well thought out. Like that's
Yeah,
it's
and deliberate
Pretty
and-
amazing in the grand
yeah.
scheme of things.
Yeah.
Like, I know how to get his attention. I'm going to get everyone else a
Well,
gift. See
yeah,
what he
it's
does.
called like deprivation flirtation.
So my other question for you, I know, I have very strong political opinions, and I try to keep them. They're part of the show, but I don't want to focus it because I know people have politics everywhere else.
Well, you
but
lose half your audience.
Yeah, exactly.
Kevin's on Instagram. He's like, he
Yeah.
has such a kick-ass puppet of Trump and Kim Jong Un.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'll lose half my followers.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
So he
then you got to
hasn't
deal with the
posted anything.
insults and yeah. But I do want to commend you because I know that you do get involved out there, and you I mean, even today you had a LA City Council meeting, right? And
Yeah. When the election happened, I'm not political. I was sort of, I have nothing left to give in acting, but I was just sort of like playing mahjong and whatever. But
Yeah.
then we had the Women's March, and then after that, I thought, we've got to do more. I mean, what do we do now? There's all these, a lot of women hanging around, and so I just cooked it up on my own. And because I'm not savvy tech-wise,
yeah,
I just go into places, I look them up, I Google them, I find the address, and I walk in the door. And I think I'll stand by that approach. I joined League of Women Voters. I saw Adam Schiff I Googled him. He's Burbank. I said, well,
Yeah.
that's right down the street. So I walked in and said, I'll empty wastebaskets. I don't care. I just
Yeah.
want to help. And so
That's
I'm
awesome.
on the Homeless Action Committee. We have a huge homeless problem. In
I was
LA.
gonna say I know in LA that is still a continue. I mean, Comic Relief. When I was a kid, I was such a fan of, and I know that even though that they tried helping for so many years, especially in the nice weather areas down in Florida here, homelessness is a big issue here as well.
And it's also the cost of living now. And,
Yeah.
and I call it the civil rights issue of our time because you would not believe the elitism that
Yeah.
occurs in how neighborhoods in this city say they want to help, but they don't. Affordable housing is a beautiful new structures, great architects. It takes the homeless off the street. It takes them inside with caseworkers. There's security. It helps a neighborhood, and people block it left and right. It's like elitism versus humanitarianism.
Yeah.
And we have to really be careful of that. Like I tell Katie, and everyone should tell their kids, and they should set the example. If you don't pass a homeless person without giving $1.
Yeah.
You know, come on. We're all equal. They're human beings,
Yeah.
And I think you can raise the consciousness of people to start treating them not like cockroaches,
No, I agree. I was just talking to a friend of mine who is a production kind of guy about an idea that I have that actually touches on that issue. I'm going to have to tell you off the air because I don't want to blurt out my ideas here before they're ready. But I think you'll actually find it interesting. When you said that, it just reminded me of that. Because it is a cause that I also feel very passionately about, and I always there's a couple dudes by my house by the 7-Eleven that I'm constantly always buying food for, and I'm happy to do it. It's a problem, and
but for the grace go us, because everyone thinks they're bums. They want to be homeless, but statistics are just, you get them a bed and a shower, and they're great majority are at a job very soon. Only 30% are mentally ill. It's just much more successful, and a lot of them are just newly homeless. They have jobs, but that they just can't make these rents.
Exactly.
So they start living in their car.
The jump to from being broke and being able to still just barely get by to being homeless is a narrowing gap. I mean, it could happen within 2 months.
Totally.
Within 2 months, you could completely run out of options.
Totally.
And then, what else are you going to do? Yeah, it's awful.
And then you're on the other side looking at people going, could you just give me some money?
Yeah.
And don't judge that I'm going to buy drinks with it. It's none, just respect me.
Yeah. And honestly, quite frankly, the way I always felt about that too, if someone's a serious alcoholic, let them buy a beer. They need it. They're going to feel like total shit all night otherwise.
Exactly.
Let them buy a beer. I don't know.
It's elitism. It's a way to stay uninvolved.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, let's just run through a couple of these real quick from fans because they did take the time to ask.
Okay.
Stephanie wants to know what your favorite new movies or TV shows are.
Well, Game of Thrones. We're waiting for that, but I'm there's so much product now on TV. I loved Sharper Objects, but we're really movie people here. Turner Classic Movie I have on all the time.
Yeah.
It's so great. I thought the movies this year were very short on story, very lame. I don't think they packed they didn't deliver a real emotional experience, I felt.
Did you get
Star is Born, and I like Green Book.
Do you get the SAG screener things?
Yeah.
Yeah. My mother still gets on me for not filling out whatever I need to fill out for them to send them to me because I don't get them. Yeah,
just pay
we could be
your
watching
dues.
all these movies.
I know. I could be watching all these movies.
You're a terrible friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my favorite movie, I'd say, is Star is Born - Green Book.
Yeah. Okay. I still haven't seen either, so I want to check them both out. I love that Lady Gaga song though.
She's great.
She's so great. Yeah, I love when she's just singing on a piano. Yeah, it's the best version of her. Stephanie also wanted to know, who was your favorite character ever that you played?
Probably Marilyn in Star Trek. And Annie Camden. I don't know. I like comedy. I like tragedy.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad you played Karen Barkley.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Devin. No. Not sorry. Those are good answers. I want honest answers anyway. That's great. You played.
I loved it.
You played freaking Marilyn Monroe. I mean that. How could that not be on the top?
I loved playing Karen Barkley. It was a big role. I like big roles. Where you can chew some emotions up.
Yeah. Whoever would have thought that would have been the film that in your personal life that would have been the one project that changed your life more than anything. Devin wants to know what it was like filming the slasher Death Valley.
Oh my gosh. Well, I had played Marilyn, and the bad luck was, it really got huge attention nationally. It was a 3-hour event, but we had an actor's strike, so the town was empty. There was no business going on. There was nothing to jump into, and that was really disappointing. But once again, I just wanted movies, and this was the only movie on the West Coast that was casting, and it was Paul Le Mat. So I thought, okay, I don't care, and it was fun. I was still sort of in Maryland, I think. I look at the pictures, I look like Marilyn.
Yeah.
It took me a while
Marilyn
to
in
leave
a
that
slasher.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marilyn in the slasher. Oh, that was a mom role. I never crossed the line into good mom in that one. But again, I just ran around the desert, happy that was a film.
Yeah, I never saw that one.
That's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to see it now.
Peter Billingsley, he's Christmas Story.
Well, okay, Kilvin Kruger wants to know, was there ever a role that you went out for that you were crushed that you didn't get?
That's a great question. I turned down Body Heat because I was scared of all there was double the nudity that ended up in the movie. I tended to, if I didn't like it, I would go in for it, but I wouldn't try hard or be great. I just sort of couldn't. Oh, I'm sorry. That's
No,
one
that's fine.
I would have had to think about ahead of time.
Yeah.
I'm sure
That's
was
a tough question.
one.
That's a tough
We can come
question.
back to that if you want.
I think that I
Yeah.
got for me, I know that I auditioned for A Bronx Tale, and I really wish that I had gotten that.
Yeah.
Just to be a part of that movie would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a bunch of people texted him. Mike, you picked two of your two best questions out there.
Oh yeah,
I
Jay.
think I wish I got in. What's the one with where they go on the western with the cow, with Billy Crystal?
Oh, City
But it was a
Slickers.
small role, so I don't care.
City
but
Slickers.
Yeah,
I
City
sort of wanted
Slickers.
to do that.
The
Yeah,
movie's
yeah.
awesome
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love that
I
movie.
know.
I loved Billy Crystal. He was one of my first favorites ever
Isn't
as
he
a kid.
great?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
loved him.
Yeah.
Loved him.
Alex tried out for that, but he got his role taken by Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Jay from Los Angeles wants to know what your
Yeah.
favorite scene was filming Child's Play.
the favorite theme?
Your favorite scene of filming Child's Play?
Oh, I thought he said theme. Scene?
Scene, like yeah.
Well, there was a couple on that cutting room floor. We had a lot. Chris Sarandon and I had like 3 huge, giant, all about my husband and backstory about
Yeah.
your dad.
Mhm.
You know, your dad and why our family, what happened to him. And I would pay. My theme song was Peter Gabriel's, not In Your Eyes, but the other one where the miners, da, 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 you know,
Oh, which one?
so many. Well, it's the really sad Peter Gabriel song. in the
And what
film.
did Karen tell a story about what that song meant to her
Oh,
from
there
her
were
husband? Oh,
Oh, it was so much. That was my theme song in my brain.
oh, okay,
Just
yeah,
that,
yeah.
there was just a lot of backstory. So
Yeah.
I love those scenes.
I know
'cause-
we had a scene on the bed talking about my father who died too, and they actually showed a shot of Tom Holland being that father, but then they
Oh,
cut
right.
that out. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all actors. Film. That's the only downside. You can do your best work and spill your blood.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
No one ever sees it, but that's the risk. It doesn't matter. It's worth it.
yeah.
But I guess oh gosh. Well, not I'm more a talky, feely girl. I think
Yeah,
any
yeah.
scene where you and I talked, the screaming and running. It's just all fast. So
Yeah, sure.
that's not like my favorite.
You did
has
it
to
so
be
good
done
though.
well.
That shot, one of my other favorite shots of you in the movie is where Chucky's putting the knife through the door closer and closer
Yes.
to your face, and
But
you're backing up and
the
screaming.
thing that another problem with film sometimes.
Yeah.
I used to love it when I first came to Hollywood because I thought you can improve your performance when you loop, and that means when you're on location, there's lots of airplanes, the sound isn't good. So like 4 months later, you have to go to a recording studio
Sure.
and get it up to the level of emotion with no other actors or no scenery in a little recording booth.
Yeah, which
and
is so
duplicate
much
the
more
performance.
difficult. Yeah.
Oh,
And
I would
you
imagine.
can improve, but
Yeah.
in that case, I some of that screaming, I could never get there again. But I hope people probably don't notice. I notice it.
Yeah.
I
I played back. I was looking for some audio clips to introduce you, and I played back some of your screams today. You let a couple of amazing ones go. As far as horror scream queen things go.
Scream
Like,
queen things,
yeah,
yeah.
you screamed. You screamed
Yeah,
real
I've been
good.
noticing other actresses. I look at screams now. They're
Yeah.
like I look at mothers. Are they a mother in real life? Can they scream well?
Yeah.
I mean, two more questions. I have one
Okay.
question from people online sending us questions, but I have a question of my own as well.
Okay.
First, Patrick from Phoenix wants to know if you can
My
share.
hometown.
Yeah,
Nice.
wants to know if you can share a little known fact or fond memory from She's Out of Control.
Oh, I dare not. I have such a good one.
Yeah.
When I jump on Tony Danza on the couch, I'm supposed to feel down his pants,
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
and it's just a funny scene. And I just, I didn't even think when they say action, I just did it. I wasn't trying to do it, but every time, and they'd say, "Cut, Catherine. You don't have to really stick your hand down and put it on his penis." But I wasn't, and I couldn't stop. I kept doing it because that
That's
was
so funny.
like a dog going. It's like action. Go get your
Yeah.
bone.
I just
get the
pictured
bone.
I pictured Tony. Oh, Catherine, what are you doing, Catherine? Tony
Yeah,
Danza.
and
Yeah.
oh God, it was like 3 times until
I didn't.
It's sort of hard to fake. Like,
Yeah.
what else is down there?
Yeah.
You know?
I remember seeing that movie when I was very young still
Yeah,
and thinking like, wow, Catherine, whoa, this is
It didn't.
this
It
is
didn't
a
strike me.
different side of you.
It didn't strike me.
Yeah.
I didn't recall like the movie until she started talking about it, and then it all just like clicked in my
Yeah,
head.
yeah.
Right.
I have a question.
Okay,
though,
what's
personally.
Mikey's question?
I was a huge fan of the movie Turbulence, and I just want to know what it was like to film some of those scenes with Ray Liotta that were like.
Well,
was
I
pretty
was
intense.
a huge fan of Ray Liotta. In fact, whenever he comes on anywhere on TV, Kevin says, "There's your boyfriend." Of course, he says that about Bill Murray and anyone I've worked with. But I was excited to work with him. I just played it as a love scene, even though it doesn't show. In my mind, he liked me. We were flirting, and we had a great chemistry. That was neat. He was like, when you finish a scene and the other actor is like a little bit taken aback, like, where did we go in that? I was thrilled. And I mean, it wasn't a big part and I get killed and then when he's killing me, I'm just thinking, this is a love scene.
Yeah. you saw it through different eyes than the camera did, I think.
It's not exactly what I was picking up when I watched it, but
Yeah.
okay.
I think that was one
mind.
of his favorite roles until he quit smoking.
Yeah, right.
And then
Right.
and then
Ba-dum-bum.
that became, forget The Godfather. Well, Catherine, thank you so much for coming on. I love hearing your voice.
You guys have fun fishing.
We're going to have fun fishing tomorrow for
Do you
sure.
guys like catch catfish and alligators down there?
Well, that would be in a lake, which I have not done much lake fishing, although I did catch an alligator when fishing in a lake. This is a true story, in front of like 4 kids. I was fishing for tilapia and I caught an alligator, like a 3-foot alligator.
Oh, little fella.
And
You let him go?
He
What did you
he
do?
was on the hook. This is what I did. In front of these kids, I reeled him. I've never I never dealt with this before in my life, but I calmly reeled him into the side. I used my fishing pole to hold his mouth shut, and I reached in and pulled the hook out of his face. I felt like freaking Steve Irwin.
Oh, good.
Yeah. It's like, crikey, get
You
back
were.
in. Yeah, I was.
Oh,
I
that's
was.
great.
Yeah, it worked out
Oh,
great.
little guys. They're so cute.
I mostly just wrestle alligators for fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
In
I
Florida,
believe
it's
it
crazy.
with this guy.
So you're going to ocean fish, I see.
We're going out in the bay, and it's the Gulf of Mexico, basically. I catch, I catch the big fish over here that everybody wants to catch is called snook and redfish and trout, like sea trout. But I also could catch cobia, which are these big fish, sharks. There's a ton of sharks out
You
there.
throw them back or?
I throw them back unless it's edible fish that's in the slot of a lot. I follow the rules for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I keep fish sometimes. I do love fish.
And then
It
you eat
definitely
'em, right?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't just keep
Wow,
them
that's
just to
exciting.
kill them for fun. That would be horrible.
Yeah. I will eat a fish.
Catherine, so right before I let you go, I want to play one little stupid game that I've been playing with everybody who called in, Christine. It's just called Have You, and it's just a couple rapid-fire Have You questions, yes or no, just to get to know you better. Have you ever been under general anesthesia?
Yes.
Have you ever asked a child for technical support, basically? Have you ever? Yeah. Have you ever gotten injured while filming?
Yes.
Have you ever been in a physical fight?
No.
Have you? Speaking of fishing, have you ever cleaned a fish?
No.
Have you ever broken a bone?
No.
Have you ever had an unhealthy obsession with someone?
Sort of.
Yeah.
Unhealthy, like I didn't stop eating.
Okay, that's good. That's a good marker of health. Have Okay. Have you ever tried mushrooms, LSD, or ecstasy?
A little one, yes. In my Cornell days, a cool,
That's a good
a
place
guy
to learn. Yeah,
introduced
sure.
me to him. Yeah, I didn't enjoy hallucinating.
Yeah.
That's not my fun thing.
No, yeah.
I'm more of a Quaalude girl. I did that once.
And they're not around. I don't think they're around
like
anymore.
This blob.
Yeah. Have you ever peed your pants on stage?
No.
That's good. Have you? And the last question.
But I had a period start on stage. That's not fun.
Well, that's.
In a
I guess
white
that's
dress,
just as
yeah.
bad. That's an accident of another kind. And the last question: have you ever lost your temper on set?
Yes.
Yeah. Really?
God, Seventh Heaven, 11 years.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. That's got to be.
We had to have every syllable right, and it's like you're doing a huge emotional breakdown, and
Yeah.
the script girl says, stop, it's the instead of at. And it's just like, oh, fuck you all. This is so hard.
That's
Can I plug a movie I just showed my friend?
Yeah, of course.
Talented Mr. Ripley. It's such great acting by a bunch of young, wonderful.
Yeah, that was
Jude
out
Law,
for a bit, right?
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Matt
Philip
Damon,
Seymour
right?
Hoffman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway,
Yeah.
love you
I'll
guys.
watch that with Camilla soon. We'll check that out.
It's really cool.
Yeah. Well, great talking to you. I love you. I'm so happy to hear from you, and
I love
and
you
I
too.
hope I
Nice
see you
meeting you,
soon
Mike.
in person.
Is it
Mikey.
Mike, he goes by Mikey. Yeah.
Hey.
I
It's
love
more
you
of a
too,
Mikey.
Catherine.
Well, thank you. I'm sure I love you.
You would. I give
I
great
met
hugs.
you.
You will, yeah. Someday,
All right.
one of these conventions.
All right. Take
All right.
care, okay?
Catherine, thanks so
Bye.
much. Talk to you soon. Bye.
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 All right. That was awesome. That was so fun to talk to her. She really does feel motherly to me.
Oh, she's a blast.
She is. She's great. All right, we're going to take a little short break here, and we're going to play a song for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that interview. I would have loved to keep her on longer, but I'm happy she called and chatted. That was really fun.
We couldn't get to all the questions. They were just far
There were
too
so many questions. Sorry, guys. I'll try to read them all and ask her over dinner someday and get back to you.
And I'm far too selfish. I had to get mine in there,
Yeah,
too.
of course, and I had my own, but
I've literally been friends with you for years just so I could ask
I hope
my
you guys
question.
still learned something anyway. I think we covered some pretty good ground.
Oh, yeah.
For a short period of time. All right, so I played the last break. I played a song by AJD, who is a really good friend of mine, dear friend, like a cousin. This is another track by his dad, Ronnie D, and the Superstars, awesome local band. This is a really fun song called Depending on Love, and we'll be back in a few minutes after that. Once this goes. All right, guys, enjoy.
I've been stuck here riding this old train, just waiting for the world to change. It helps me when I remember my mama taught me love was the only way. Like a politician, yeah, we spin things around just to try and get our own way. But as far as manners go, mama always showed me just what to say. She said, let's try and do the right things, so we can have the real things. It's all depending on love. Yeah, with the hopes that we are gonna make it through. Depending on love. Well, I hope my message gets through to you. I don't care what else is trending. Yeah, I'm counting on a happy ending. Depending on love. Love. I'm depending on love. It takes a village to raise a little baby up to know how to do what's right, but at the same time teach them never run away from the good fight. Well, sometimes people don't behave in a way that goes along with the plan, but my daddy showed me examples on how to be a good man. He said, son, try to do the right things.
Son, try and do the right thing.
And when they ask you why we're singing, 'cause we're depending on love. Yeah, with the hopes that we are going to make it through. Depending on love. Yes, I hope my message gets through to you. I don't care what else is trending. I'm at counting on my happy ending. Depending on love. Love. I'm here depending on love.
Hi, this is Bill Moseley, and you're listening to The Final Note, a real dirge, if you get the urge.
All right, we're back. That was a cool song. Love Ronnie D. Love those guys. Super talented. He's going to be on the show in a few weeks. He's got a busy schedule, but we're going to get him in soon. But sitting in the hot seat, as it were, right now, very, very talented young lady who came into the studio just a few weeks ago. We recorded some vocals, and she gave me her CD, which I thought was cool. Slide in a little bit so that mic can pick you up. You gave me a CD, which I thought was awesome. It's always nice, first of all, when a new artist comes in and hands you a physical version of something to listen to. Yeah, let me turn your other mic on there, Mikey.
There we are.
All right, you're back. So Georgie Mason.
Hi, how's it going?
Great. Glad to have you on.
I'm so glad to be
Are you getting
here.
a cold?
No, it's not a cold. I have like really bad allergies.
Oh, okay.
So...
All right. We were smoking in here too. That's probably the problem. I apologize. I know it's awful. Yeah.
Bunch of heathens.
Yeah, I'm allowed to smoke pot too. I have Florida. Florida has told me it's okay.
Heathen and a
which
slacker.
is good. Yeah, I know. We get caught up in these conversations. That's why. But anyways, so did you grow up here? Where did you come from originally?
I came from everywhere. I've been in Florida 3 months now. It's March, yeah. So 3 months, yeah.
Just 3 months. Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't even know that. You're just brand new to the area.
Yeah, so I'm just...
From where most recently?
Texas.
Yeah. Oh, you say that like it's a drag.
I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, sometimes you roll through Texas and it doesn't work out too great.
All
but
my
hey,
exes leaving
all your exes, they're there now, currently.
Just one of those.
Just one of them, huh?
Most recent one.
Yeah.
And welcome to Florida for that reason.
I love it so far. I'm just like passing through, but.
Where'd you grow up?
Mostly North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a country girl.
Yeah.
From the mountains, kind of. So that's my thing.
So what were you in choir in school and band and stuff like that?
In high school,
I
was in chambers chorus. And,
okay.
I had some vocal training as a child. But
Did you? How old were you when you realized that you could sing better than the other kids your age?
Like this afternoon, I sounded pretty good. I was like, "Oh my god, I might be able to sing."
I just figured it out today, huh? Okay, that works too.
It's new every time. It's new.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I work with a lot of female vocalists, and half and half. Half come in here. I think the term diva is a popular term for good reason. But I work with it's not feminine, not female, because divas come of all kinds. But vocalists, 50-50. Half are completely insecure, and the other half are way overconfident. And you were a nice, happy medium. It was a very easy session. It worked out well.
Thanks,
but more importantly, the CD you gave me, I listened to in the car, which it was cool because I got to just pop it in the CD player. And I really dug it. Like the song that I played to open the show, Shag. Your producer? Do you have input with him on the instrumental side of things too?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
That's August Gray. He did 7 of the 8 tracks.
Yeah.
We work closely together. So,
yeah, it's great.
Yeah, we're still working together. Actually, working on some new stuff.
It's a really good approach. Everybody who knows me knows I'm a massive Nine Inch Nails fan. But any kind of like electronical. Music like that has a little bit of aggression that is put together. That's kind of how I was describing it earlier, as maybe aggressive pop with a little bit of soulfulness attached to it. Is that a fair depiction, you think?
It depends on the day.
Yeah, depends how you're feeling that morning. Well, yeah, it's true because the record was pretty eclectic from song to song. It showed a bunch of your different influences. Yeah. Who were your influences in life, musically, if you had to name the top couple?
Oh, boy.
You have any trip-hop in there?
There's some trip-hop in those beats? Yeah. It's a little reminiscent, some of them.
Just thought.
It's a good mix.
I haven't even
it's a good
thought
mix.
about that, huh?
Yeah, it's a good mix.
Yeah, okay, August. I see
Yeah. I got her vocals, I got you. Was he happy with them, by the way? Did he get everything that I sent out that day?
Oh, that's not this producer.
Oh, the different guy. This new
another,
project.
Yeah, they're actually in Virginia. That's where I'm from.
Oh, okay, cool.
Where I was born. But, they're in the studio working on it, so they're good.
Yeah, okay,
No
awesome.
complaints. Thanks again. Yeah.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Sure.
We'll do more together, I hope.
Yes.
But yeah, your influences musically, like vocally or even instrumentally, like who got you excited about music when you were young?
When I was young, oh my gosh, it was Tony Braxton, Michael Jackson.
Sure.
I said I was going to marry Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
You died. Why did you die?
Oh, that might not have been the first of your issues, but
we all have our issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was really into her and Tony Braxton.
Yeah,
and,
I love Tony Braxton.
And Janet Jackson.
Sure.
Actually, someone gave, it was a compliment. Someone said they were listening to my compact disc the other week, and they're like, someone walked by my car and said, "Who's that? Janet Jackson?"
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's dope! Like
that's awesome
that's
to hear. Are you kidding?
I'm getting it, it's passing into.
That's got to feel good.
Yeah. So.
Do you dance also?
I love dancing. I'm a dancer. Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah, that's my thing.
Your YouTube page up there. I know I saw a lot of like visuals attached to the music. I didn't get enough time to go through all of it, but I want to, and I encourage everybody to, because you do have a cool sound. What are you working on next? Now, this project that we did, is that a one-off track, or was that going to be part of something larger that you're working on?
It's not my project, but it is the artist T-Ben. That's
cool.
who I'm working with. Well,
and you featured on that record. Yeah, cool.
That's my first feature.
Yeah?
Maybe 6 months ago, I said, man, I even tweeted it because I was like, I really want this to happen.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to be featured. I want to be featured. And bam.
Awesome.
It's happening. You just gotta speak
did you write the lyrics off the record?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, there's definitely some songwriting. The song that you're going to perform is a little slower tempo. I'm also going to play a song, Hearsay, coming up. The song you're going to perform tonight, first of all, is called Paranorm.
Yes.
What's that song about?
So many things.
Yeah.
It was to myself. It was to people in my life who have tried to stifle me and keep me from, basically clip my wings.
Yeah, sure.
I tried to do it to myself unintentionally, just like decisions I've made. I have no regrets, for the record. But just decisions I made, I tried to clip my own wings and didn't give myself a chance and forgot my true purpose, forgot my truest form.
Yeah.
And this song is an anthem to myself. Girl, bye. You know who you are.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
I had
awesome.
to find myself. Not find myself. Like, that sounds so cliche, but yeah, I had to find myself again and realize my strength.
I could certainly relate to self-stifling creativity. I do it to myself regularly. So cool. And then we're going to play another song, too, called Hearsay. Now, this record, by the way, where can people get it? Is it on...
Hearsay and Shag are both on Tidal, iTunes, Google Music, Amazon Music, all that stuff.
Yeah.
My entire EP is on my SoundCloud page. So you can
okay,
go there
cool.
And check it
and
out.
it's SoundCloud what? SoundCloud Georgie Mason?
Georgie Mason, yeah.
That's
J-O-R.
Yeah, J-O-R. J-O-R-G-I-E Mason. So, yeah, you guys can check that out. I'm going to play her track called Hearsay right now. Let us know what was this one about, too. I dig this tune.
This one it honestly started with a situation in California when I lived out there. This was before I got into narcotics and stuff.
Sure.
But it's funny because I wrote my life.
Yeah.
I wrote this song about someone else, but I put myself in the position in the music video.
Yeah.
Basically, addiction, trying to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
It started that way, and yeah, it's never good.
No.
But, I mean, it could be worse, but
yeah,
it's about addiction and life, and being addicted to the wrong sources of life.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And that I take that time was probably influential on the direction that your creativity went. Usually it is. Once you introduce certain narcotics into your life, you get on a new path creatively pretty quick usually. So
yeah, but it's so good. Like, my creativity level is just like pew, through the roof.
Yeah. Florida's working out good for you so far?
Yeah, so far.
So far so good. Cool.
It's a pretty fun place to be.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. When you're in the best area of Florida too, I got to say. My mother lives in St. Augustine, which is arguably my second favorite part, but the Tampa Bay area is where it's at in Florida.
I love it.
Yeah, I do too. All right, so we're going to play this song called Hearsay by Georgie, and she's going to go in the live room. We're going to set her up for her live performance of Paranorm, which is coming up after this track. We're going to get some cameras ready, put this up on YouTube like the last few videos. If you have not gone to the YouTube page, go search The Final Note Live on YouTube. You'll see actually I think all 6 are up now, all 6 of the last performances, and this one will be up shortly. So check that out. She's going to perform Paranorm in a few minutes, but first this is Hearsay.
They're starting with the blanket and I'm listening. You wanna blend in, but your soul got you soaking everything in. You're thinking too much, yeah. I know where this ends, yeah. I wanted to fight. You're taking my fire.
I dig it.
Yeah?
Yeah, that song's nice.
Thanks. I had a good time with that one for sure. It's a total freestyle. Most of mine are, but that was definitely a total freestyle.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Whew.
All right, so you're in the live room now.
I am.
We got you ready to go here. This track is called Paranorm. It was, I think, one of my favorites off the record, so I'm glad it's the one you chose to do live. I'm going to be quiet and let you sing it, and you guys at home, I hope you enjoy it. This is Georgie Mason with Paranorm live on The Final Note. Wow, great job.
That felt nice.
That was awesome. Oh man, I only hope that sounded as good in everybody else's ears as it did here live. But that was awesome. Really great job.
Oh my gosh, I feel like a big release just happened.
I bet
can I
you
say
did.
orgasm? I don't know. Can I say that?
Yeah, it's
okay.
If you did, of course you could say it. Jesus.
It was like better than one, honestly. I fucking love singing and performing. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. That was really, really, really awesome. So, tell everyone one more time where they can check you out, please.
You can check me out. I'm usually on Instagram. You can go Georgie Mason at Georgie Mason, JorgieMason. Or you can go to my SoundCloud/Georgie Mason. I'm usually just there. Facebook, I don't really use much. And my website's down. I don't know why, but I'm going to figure it out. But you can catch me on Instagram. I love you guys.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Guys, that was really, really, really good. It sounded so good live. I got to listen to it back. Hopefully it'll sound as good as it did here, because, man, that was powerful. She really killed it. But, yeah, cool. All right, so let's see. We got some time left, I guess. We're hanging out. It's what time is it here? It's almost 10. You guys enjoying the show? I'm not sure who's still hanging out, or if you guys all bailed after Catherine. I hope not, because you missed an awesome performance. But the whole episode will be up tomorrow. If you guys did miss any of it, you can go onto the site, The Final Note Live, tomorrow and check it out. Yeah, that was really good. What'd you think of that, Mikey?
Oh, it was amazing.
That was awesome.
Yeah, she's really feeling it.
Yeah.
It's hard not to feel it yourself.
Yeah, that was. Oh, you know what I got to do? I got to turn this off. Hold on. I'm going to fix this little sound issue right now. So we did have a whole topic I wanted to chat about and everything. I guess we could get into that. Let me take a little break here to get things organized. I know I'm playing a bunch of music, but that's cool, right? I enjoy it. Thank you, guys. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Also, if you go to the YouTube page, I put up the segments of the interviews so far with Felissa and John Dugan. I'm going to put up Miko's and Kane Hodder's and Naomi Grossman's soon in the next few days. I'm trying to spread it out a little bit. But, yeah, we're going to take another break. I'm going to play a song called Jesus. I'm going to play 2 more songs off You Are a Toy. I'm trying to get the whole record done in the first 8 episodes. So we're going to take a short break because I need to reset the microphones and everything. And this is called Jesus. This is by You Are a Toy, a kick-ass band who recorded this record called The Difference Is at my studio back almost 2 years ago now. It's been out for a little over a year. We worked our asses off mixing this record. But this is a song called Jesus. Got to thank Georgie Mason again for coming on, because that was a really great performance.
Yeah, I just got to watch her pour her heart and soul
into that microphone, right?
Yeah, that was pretty
Hold on, I got to put your mic on. All right, I got to get the mic straight. So the only way I could do that is by taking a break and playing a song. So here you go, guys. This is You Are a Toy with Jesus. And I think I got to bring that down. All right, guys. Here you go. Sorry for that. I'm still new to this, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Here you go.
Legally dismissed, anonymous. If just one of us speaks truth, not listening. Deemed to trust the body immorals. Somebody once said, "They come to get me again." Only I put in the best intense attempts to set some intention. See, she gave me shine. She's screaming vision. Teach on attention. It's to this submission. Yeah.
fucking love that record. I gotta say, I really love that record. There's only 2 songs left on it that I'm still going to play for you guys. I'm going to close the show with the track called Notorious. And then there's one more I'm going to play next week. Oh, it's The Difference. It's kind of what I've been using as my theme song, actually, in the beginning. Those guys are gracious enough to let me use their music on the show and let me use it in the my opening song. So, yeah. All right, so you guys still hanging out. We're just... I don't know. We're wrapping things up, I guess, kind of. We could bullshit a little bit, so I wanted to talk about political correctness and freedom of speech, just to keep some sort of consistency with the topic of social importance on each episode. I have a lot of thoughts on it. I don't know how much time we'll spend on it. The point that I was starting to make earlier, which... political correctness to me, first of all, the intention behind it is very noble and was very good. I think it was designed to elevate the conversation, to, refrain from name calling or assumptions about people or presumptions about people, and to be mindful of people's feelings, which... for some reason today is like, it almost sounds, I see the word snowflake in big bubble letters as I say something like that, which is kind of weird. I kind of think that empathy and compassion in language, George Carlin said once that we think in language, so the quality of our thought can only be as good as the quality of our language. And I agree with that very strongly as someone who writes and takes their time to use the right language. I give language a lot of credit. I do think it helps shape our thoughts, and I think that the intention of political correctness and how it's been effective in promoting equality and making advancements in equality that 20, 30 years ago we didn't know how in sight they were, how possible they were. I think that shaping of our language to be more empathetic and more compassionate and inclusive. I think the intentions of it were good. Now, like everything, people take things and they run way too fucking far with it, and it gets to a point where it is perverting our language. Again, as George Carlin said, they wanted to call that thing in the street a person hole cover. I think that's taken it too far. In any case, in either side of it, I think taking yourself too seriously, where you're so cautious about your language that you're pretending to be something you aren't for other people. I think most people's instinct is to be decent towards one another, and if they're going to say something that offends someone, and they know that there's a way to not do that, decent people should choose to not do that. But I think it's when feelings get too fragile, or when people get too carried away with their notion of what offends them.
Feelings can change a lot too. So they're definitely fragile though these days. It seems.
Yeah, it does.
To me.
One thing, in talking about things like this, when people get really heated in these kind of arguments, I always try to point out when people use the exception for the rule. I think that happens a lot. I think people say, yeah, but these people, look at these people. Well, maybe these people are just fucking out of their minds. There's always a chance, if you're just pointing to the crazy extremes on either side, and try to make that representative of the whole to make a point, I think you're often arguing a moot point, like a wasted cause, because you're talking about the extremes. You're talking about not the norm by any means. Now, I guess they do that out of a fear of that kind of mentality spreading, but I don't know. I think the intention of political correctness was to try to elevate the conversation and make people more inclusive in the debate. of whatever that is, without making prejudgments about certain groups and pushing stereotypes or disadvantages further, trying to work towards equality by including as many voices in it as they can, by not offending people, by not unnecessarily offending people, I guess I should say. And I think that you can still tell it like it is and do that. I don't think those are mutually exclusive of each other. I don't know. What are your thoughts on it? What do you think?
It goes all over the board, really. When you're talking about feelings, as mentioned, everyone has them, and there's the old sayings like the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So even if the idea of being politically correct, is for a good reason with good intentions, there's still a lot of negativity that you're going to reach once you get to this place.
Yeah,
everyone's feelings are so fragile anyway. I mean, I think it would be probably more helpful if people would try to be a bit more thick-skinned and think more than they feel. Maybe. Just a thought.
Yeah. I think it's got to be a blend of both. You can't throw logic out of the window for sake of your feelings.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone should do that.
But
certainly.
Who sets the bar? Like, who really says, "Oh, this is correct, this is not correct"? Because it goes back to, like you guys were just saying, you're too sensitive.
Yeah.
Why can't we just talk?
Yeah.
I don't know. I never get that.
I agree. I mean, I kind of feel like sometimes people take an overly analytical approach towards social issues and use statistics to try to prove their point. And I think that kind of strips the humanity from what we all actually have in common, which are the human feelings that surround this part of life. Feelings we all do have in common, and I worry sometimes that this attitude of, a good friend of mine has a banner on his Facebook that says "Fuck your feelings, Trump 2020," and that's the banner on his Facebook. And again, I don't want to make the exception the rule. I don't think everybody who supports Trump feels that way, and I'm not even taking a shot at him necessarily. I don't know how he got to feeling that way, but I don't subscribe to that, like, fuck your feelings mentality either. I think progress is going to be seriously halted if we're spending our time getting down in the mud and arguing with each other all the time. And I don't think anyone can deny that there has been a deterioration of debatability amongst people over the past few years.
Have a healthy argument.
Yeah. I mean, it turns ugly. People are unfriending friends. They're not talking to family. That half the people. I mean, this new troll thing where people can anonymously on the internet just say anything because it entertains them, that it pisses you off. That's one thing, but and that's disgusting in itself. But even just people who, if they're coming into an argument with well, fuck your feelings, that your feelings don't matter in this situation, I think you're setting a example and precedent right at the beginning of the argument to not get along.
Well, I mean, what's that encounter to exactly? I mean, you can say, and like, obviously this friend of yours has, fuck your feelings to anything that's feelings, I guess. But when it depends on what that's the answer to exactly.
Yeah.
Like, are we talking about people that are oppressed, or are we talking about some kid that didn't get the right shoes?
Well, that in itself might be part of the problem, because how broad can you be with a statement like that and not offend people? And how does that not come off as I don't give a shit about any of your feelings about anything? If you could be specific and say, actually, I disagree with you on this issue so strongly that I no longer care about your feelings. That would be one thing, but I don't think people that have that approach to debate and to conversation are taking the time to differentiate.
I mean, I do think that your friend probably is a bit trollish in nature, if that's the banner that's on the Facebook. Just a thought.
Yeah, I think
the mentality of a troll, I'm not 100%. I don't know. Maybe I am.
There's intention with that banner, though. You're saying maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think Also, it's maybe just to be a little shocking on purpose. You know, that could be.
I mean, like the most punk rock thing you can do now is like wear a fucking MAGA hat. It's like ridiculous.
That's punk rock now. That's against the system. Somehow that's against the system.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it is.
It's a weird world we're living in right now, people.
Yeah, it is. But I think that battle between political. First of all, over political correctness, I think, is ridiculous. I mean, if you want to lump in the whole, like, first of all, if you're an adult and you have a preference as to how you want to be referred to, I can't argue with you if that's what you want. I mean, however I feel about it, unless I'm being a dick, I'll call you what you want me to call you.
Oh, I mean, about like pronouns?
But yeah, I'll call you what you want me to call you. I'm fine with it. But when it gets taken too far, that like on children's birth certificates, they can't choose a gender because they don't know how they're going to feel about it till they get older. I think that's just a super rare example of a crazy person who's trying to get attention with that kind of approach. You know,
there's a couple other directions as well.
You're talking about
there's
a person who has no personality at all yet. You know, what do you know?
I noticed an issue that was getting conflated about a year ago, I want to say, when there was, to my knowledge, a big scare that they were, trying to essentially erase trans people. That was kind of the headline.
Yeah.
But really, to my knowledge, and this was just a conversation that was had from what I looked into, and it was to simply counter the argument for people that have an issue identifying gender expression, simply changing it to specifically sex on a birth certificate. So you couldn't change your sex, you can change your gender all you want. That was the I believe argument
to put a separation between the two,
no longer say gender, we're now going to say sex, and that turned into a big deal where people were arguing. Now, I'm not saying I have the answers for any of that. I'm only explaining that story from what I gathered myself. That said, when it comes to people changing their gender, I've actually been surrounded by quite a lot of this. And it's very easy for me to help identify someone that I become friends with from whatever they tell me. Like, okay, you're a trans man, I can do that. You're a trans woman, I can do that. If I've known you for 10 years, and this is another issue I ran into, I've known you for 10 years, and you were a guy, and then,
you're going to change it on me and expect me to not fuck up and say the wrong thing?
Like I've known you for 2 weeks as Veronica. Give me some room here.
Give me some room to get used to this here.
Because this friend of mine, all of my stories were when they were a guy and now they're a girl. So the stories, for context reasons, are totally fucked up. When I'm telling these stories about like a girl I was working with, but when it was a guy who was actually like an apprentice of mine, it's completely different in context. So I'm having a little bit of trouble telling the story with this person, or any stories that I have had in the past. It's kind of difficult because I'm jumping back and forth between like when this person was a guy and a girl now, and I have a little bit of trouble with gender being that malleable, I suppose, where you can you change it today and then all of a sudden you've always been a woman.
Right.
I don't think that's very honest. Because
I think their argument to that would be something like that they've never felt like themselves the whole time, that they were trying to convince themselves of something,
Maybe. But to my knowledge, this friend of mine didn't really have the issue that it was explained to me until after they knew me. So, like, all my stories are pretty valid with it being a guy. And it's, much more recently that, this friend of mine figured out, well, no, I'm actually, I'm identifying as a girl. I'm a girl. And I'm fucking good with that. Like, there's no real issue on my end except for getting over telling stories about the, guy friend I used to have to the girlfriend that I have now. It's just a little tricky.
But I wonder, like, if it's considered PC to be accepting of whatever pronoun people want to use for themselves, is the anti-political correctness stance? No, I'm calling you a dude no matter what you say. That's how I feel about it, and that's what I'm calling you.
I think that would
You're Joe, man. You're Joe. You've been Joe. You're always Joe. You're not Joanne.
Well, I mean,
I don't know if that's the position.
A couple ways on this,
or is it more in concept but not actual in reality? If they actually knew that person, they'd feel differently. You know,
well,
when you look at it as a hypothetical, it's easy to say one thing. But
I've heard some conservative people kind of play with this one a little bit, where I've heard them say if they're asked technically, they're going to use what they know technically, but out of sake of being polite to their friend, they're going to use a better pronoun if you're identifying, especially if you're passing, as the opposite sex. Like, you're not going to go to a restaurant to meet, your friend that transitioned into a woman and say, like, oh, it's a dude that's sitting over there. Like, that's not only it's rude, but it's not going to help you find that person either. But I've heard some conservative people kind of go a little back and forth on that one. I mean, we'll all assess the situation when we run into it ourselves. I'll do what I can for a friend, but I am definitely known to throw dude around quite a lot.
Sure,
so I'll say, my dude friend's a girl or a guy. I'll throw that around. Also, I'll walk into a room like, hey, what's up, guys? And it'll be a room full of, girls. So.
Yeah, so
I use the guys instead of girls thing all the time. I call if I'm sitting at a convention and 3 girls walk up to me, I say, hey, guys, how you doing? I just use guys as like a plural for person. I don't think about it. That's, I think, hey, ladies, sounds creepy for one thing. So I'm not going to say that.
If you say it and look like that, then yes.
Hey, girls. hey, group of women.
Oh my God,
I just say, hey,
that.
guys. Yeah. But not that anyone was ever like, hey, we're ladies, don't call us that.
Actually, that's happened quite often. That used to happen at my workplace often. They'd be like, oh, you guys have a great day. We're women.
Come on.
It's general.
That's
speaking.
Penis, That's one of those double meaning things where we've taken words and used them the wrong way for so long that it's just understood at this point,
Well, I mean, they can be very, diverse pronouns. The way they get used. But, people can feel free to take offense to it if they want. I mean, I just think that's more their burden than mine.
Yeah. I don't know.
Unfortunately.
I think just basically that I don't think that political correctness in and of itself is something that people should even really be opposed to. I think taking yourselves too seriously is the issue. Anyone who does that, who takes themselves absurdly serious. And another thing I'd say about political correctness, too, is, and I guess some people would disagree with this, but I do think comedy is immune from political correctness. I think it has to be. I think the reason why...
I think it kind of needs to be.
It needs to be, exactly. It's called comic relief for a reason. We use comedy to look at the darkest aspects of life, make light of it, and if there's a clever punchline in there that genuinely makes you belly laugh over it.
Yeah, if I couldn't find a reason to
you
laugh
can't start
at all the fucked up things
exactly.
in my life,
we cannot go down that road of that's something you can't joke about. I do believe you could joke about anything. It's the it's the quality of the joke. Honestly, it's what the as George said. Not to keep quoting him tonight, but political correctness is a topic he talked about a lot, and he's one of the most inspirational people on my thinking process in the world. But it's the intention of the joke. It's what the punchline is, what the exaggeration is, and why it's funny. It doesn't matter how dark it is. I think anything can be funny. I also think it's a dangerous road to go down and start saying, no, that's gone too far in comedy. So I do think that is immune from political correctness, even if the joke offends me personally.
I mean,
if it's funny though, that's the marker.
Sure.
It has to be funny. Right? It has to be funny, and the messenger has to be ambiguous at the least about their actual feelings on the issue.
I mean, where my feelings tend to go for it, really, if we're going to talk about feelings, I kind of think the only thing that maybe shouldn't be immune to it would be our, government and politics.
Yeah. What do you mean?
I think that's the only thing that should be taken so seriously that you can't smile or laugh. I think everything else we should try to find something funny in life.
But government and politics, you don't like political humor at all, you mean? You think there should be none of it?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying people in office shouldn't be trying to make jokes.
Should not be making jokes. Yeah.
I think that was Obama's biggest problem is he went on fucking
Obama
Jimmy Kimmel.
and George Bush too thought he was a comedian. I still hold to this day that George Bush would have rather been a comedian in life than a president. He was he would say something and then like and just wait for the room to laugh about it. You know, he'd say something like that's not even supposed to be funny at all.
Oh yeah, that dude's a good one for sure.
How we doing this morning? Just wait for it. Like, you know, it's like the dude just wanted to be funny. Yeah. I don't know. I had George Bush. I want to see Vice, by the way. Not that movies should tell you how the world is, but I do want to see that story and that perspective of it because I do think Cheney was the greater evil of the two, and I think it's possible, and not probable. Not I'm just saying it's possible that George Bush was a straight up dummy in everything that happened during his presidency, and he was just like, okay, whatever, we'll go along with it. Whatever. He didn't understand even the speeches he was making. He might be that simple. I'm not sure. But
he was literally just reading and doing as he was told.
Yeah, and doesn't question it, doesn't really get it, doesn't look into it. Well, that's over my head, you know. Like he just like moves on something.
Don't accept that. Forget what you're doing. You're the messenger.
Yeah.
We can pick at any of the presidents we want.
Of course we could.
There's a bad side to all of them.
Oh yeah.
It's an impossible job.
And when you're talking about comedy, political. I mean, it is the number one fodder for it. You know, it's got to be. We got to joke about that. That's
sure.
You know,
I mean, it's maybe it's just right now.
This is the only president that really hates being joked about. But
I mean, personally, I'm just
or at least
fucking over any Trump impersonations at this point.
I'm over most of the impressions. I'll tell you that the impressions are getting. Stephen Colbert, I can't stand that he's constantly doing that impression.
Yeah.
He's not good at it. That's the problem, and he keeps doing it. If it was spot on, maybe I'd be able to forgive it. But it's a bad impression that he does every night, like on every line.
Yeah, I was saying a minute ago that we need to find like some of the darker stuff in our lives and be able to like laugh at it so we don't get depressed all the time.
Sure.
But there's like is there a week where SNL hasn't done something with Donald Trump, and now that's getting depressing for me.
Really that they won't stop doing it. Yeah,
shit.
I know. I think SNL has had a pretty good season so far. This last week made me laugh a lot. That John Mulaney, he's funny, and I kind of like don't want to like him because he reminds me of the guys from like The Big Bang Theory, which I didn't really like, and there's something about him that is
I like John Mulaney.
Uncomfortable nerdiness, but I like him. He like dresses like a nerd, but thinks like a degenerate. Yeah. It seems, which I kind of appreciate. And he's good on the show, though.
He did a lot of sketches with Nick Kroll like a few years back that I thought were really funny.
Yeah, and that show Big Mouth is funny too.
Big Mouth, oh my god!
Yeah,
I have not seen that yet.
It's really funny.
Oh, it's
Nick Kroll and Maya Rudolph.
Yeah. Sleeping at Pig.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
I gotta watch this now.
Oh, it's
Big Mouth. Okay.
It's over the top raunchy.
I like raunchy.
You'll probably identify with it. It's pretty legit. Like as far as what I recall, like my teenage years being like, and very younger, going through puberty.
Yeah. Oh no, that show.
We all
so
had our
funny.
own hormone monster.
Yeah, no doubt. I hope I'm not getting sick here from...
you're going to love the Hormone Monsters for sure.
The Hormone Monsters, oh my.
Yeah.
Like Joe and everybody got sick that was at the set last week.
Really?
Why?
Yeah. But they're already sick, so we should be fine, I guess. I don't know.
Dude, you guys aren't taking your
vitamins. I had a little earache. No, yeah. Well, see, you're on like a regimen. I'm not on a regimen of anything.
Like every day.
Yeah. I'm lucky to get up. Go ahead, talk for a second.
I'm gonna.
You're on a regimen? What?
Yeah.
What are you doing with yourself?
Me? I go to the gym like a lot, and then I take like a big fistful of vitamins every day. I have potassium, magnesium, multivitamin, 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, fish oil. I got B complex. And that's just my morning little shot in the mouth with
Jiminy Cricket, dude.
Oh yeah.
Did you say your morning shot in the mouth?
Yep.
Morning shot in the mouth. Take it how you will.
It says morning shot in the mouth, folks.
Yeah. I take it every morning. Bam, that's how I get all my vitamins.
All right, guys.
I wash it down with some Code Red Mountain Dew.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna die from that stuff.
So, all right. Well, next week, maybe Joe will be back. We'll see. Next week, are you going to go fishing with me in the morning?
I think I want to go fishing with
you,
Alex.
All right, we got to wrap it up so you come up. So next week, I think Serena Vincent is going to be my guest, and my friend Tatiana might be coming in to sing. She's a real talented singer. She sings like crossover opera. I'm going to try to get her to sing an opera song on the show next week.
That's awesome.
Which would be cool.
Can't wait to
Georgie, thank you so much again.
Thank you, guys.
That was such a good
you.
performance. So I'm going to listen to it back in the car and hope that it sounded as good in here.
Fingers crossed.
As I've said, you know, I'm basically like mastering the signal live. Oh wait,
I've got some messages.
Probably
People said it
putting
sounded
something.
good. So
Yeah, good. I'm trying to push it from Pro Tools through Pro Tools and mastering it live. So it puts everybody to sleep when I talk about this shit. But I do. I have limiters on there and stuff. It's a tough balance to like get it out right to you guys, because it does look like it's peaking like crazy here, and it's peaking in our headphones like crazy, but it's not in the system. So I kind of have to like get it close and then guess.
Yeah, every time I do a playback every week just so I can listen to how we sound. We always sound great when I hear it.
Oh, good.
But when we're doing it, it sounds
awful.
Rough. Like,
yeah,
not awful.
It's the only way that I know how I could use Pro Tools and push through. Like if I cut Pro Tools out and we just went 4 channels into this thing, we'd have none of that. But then I'd have no plugins, and it wouldn't sound as good. I couldn't do the live music, and I couldn't use all 32 channels that I have. And so, you know, that's what I'm doing. All right. So, but next week, I think Serena Vincent will be here. Tatiana should be here. And yeah, well, I don't know what we'll talk about, but we'll talk about something.
Can I
And
throw a shout out before we go?
yeah, do a shout out. Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to throw a shout out to my friend Lindsay Snow, who fucked up this other like female pro wrestler when she tried to shoot on her and actually hurt her. Like Lindsay Snow like dropped her and put her in like a legit jiu-jitsu hold and like fucked her knee up. It was great. I got video of it. It happened live.
Oh my god.
But yeah, Lindsay Snow, you rock. So
You're pretty
thanks for that video.
Awesome. I saw the video. Yeah, she looked pissed.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Should I do this final note thing? I've wrapped up every show with some thoughts each episode. I did it for the first 7, so maybe I'll do it this time and one more time. We'll see. We're gonna fuck with the format a little bit, but I did write this out, so I might as well read it. Let me just mute this one too. All right, so summing up my thoughts on tonight, which we only talked about briefly, but about freedom of speech and about political correctness in general. You know, freedom of speech is one of the most apparent and utilized freedoms that come along with being an American and, in most parts of the world, basically a human being. It's the freedom that we share that is most often celebrated and defended and appreciated. It's the First Amendment of our Constitution for good reason, and I do believe in it strongly. I use it. I have a podcast show that I'm using. I mean, I have always used my voice, and I appreciate the ability to do so. Political correctness and how it relates to our freedom of speech, I think, is progressive and suppressive at times. There aren't any laws that require anyone to be politically correct, and there are very few laws that require us to tame our speech as to not offend others. The only real exception is the often debated definition of hate speech. But I definitely see differences between hate speech and hateful language. We use hateful language all the time, starting as teenagers. Just ask any teenager about any opinionated topic, and they're almost definitely going to use the word hate as a description. I hate this. I hate that. Read any reviews of creative projects, and you'll find the word hate repeated incessantly. The advent of social media has intensely rewarded our freedom of speech by giving everyone an opportunity to just say whatever the fuck they want in praise and insults of whatever they want. We're allowed to hate things, and we're allowed to express it. The difference and what's not tolerated is abusive or threatening speech that expresses prejudice against a particular group. This has recently been debated a lot in regards to social media, but my take on it is we all enjoy Facebook and Twitter, but we don't really have any rights that guarantee our usage to these sites or to this platform. It's up to these companies, really, to decide who they can ban access to and why. I know it feels like it's a right of ours, but it really isn't. And I know many people claim bias and like preferential treatment towards Democrats, actually, over Republicans. I don't really have enough accurate information on that, so I'm not going to really go there. But neither here nor there, I believe that anyone, as I was saying, like anyone who takes themselves too seriously on either end of that debate is potentially to blame at times. I don't believe in the perversion of language when it takes things too far to protect fragile feelings out there, but I'm certainly not on the Fuck Your Feelings campaign either. I believe that the intention of political correctness was noble and progressive, and I think being protective and empathetic of others allows us to rise above name-calling and insults, which, as I said, elevates discussion into a more respectful and effective means of communication. And I think its design was to do that, to unify and include people in the conversation. What else did I want to say about it? I feel like I believe that I recognize strongly, and I believe that, like as we all should, that the absence of empathy and considerate language has really done a number on our unity and our ability to rationally debate. I think this resistance to political correctness, it kind of perverts empathy and compassion from a strength into a weakness. And I think political correctness is the conscious effort to avoid language that could be perceived as marginalizing people and is used often to try to hurt people's feelings. But I think that's just an extension of simple decency and compassion for the feelings of others. And although I agree, when anything's taken too far, taken too seriously, it's just as offensive by going overboard in a desire to be cautious, not to offend people. It should come naturally, and it does to most. Getting carried away with it or forcing yourself to publicly pretend to feel one way over another, it gives the entire concept a bad reputation. And I do think that in this case of political correctness and many others, it's really important to not make the exception the rule and to not make those prejudices that only darken the debate to a place of just arguing that is not going to get you anywhere, and it's name calling, and you got to remember that half the people are just fucking crazy, so a good chunk of them. So anyways, that's the final note basically. Thanks again, guys, for coming, Mikey and Georgie, and Joe should be back next week, maybe not, maybe he's gonna take a turn for the worse with this cold that we all exposed ourselves to on set.
He's not sick. He's just trying to get us jobs on a Netflix movie. He's shopping us
I think that's a lot of wishful thinking, man.
I am an optimistic person.
I don't see it happening. All right, so I'm going to play one more song to close the show, and we're going to wrap up and go home and maybe get out on the boat.
And no one else has a visual aid here currently while we're live, correct? So I do want to describe how striking Georgie really is.
Oh, there you go.
She is beautiful. Not only is she an amazing singer, she is just gorgeous. So that is going to be a really fun video for you guys to see at the end of the week.
Awesome. Definitely check it out on the YouTube page. And Mikey, you're smooth as hell, man. All right. No, she is. He's right. This song is called Notorious, and this is by You Are a Toy. Thanks for listening tonight, guys. We'll be back next week. This is You Are a Toy with Notorious, and you were listening to The Final Note. Go check out the studio's website, avproductionsonline.com, and if you haven't gone to the YouTube page to check out all the videos, you should. So go check it out, and we'll be back next week.